This YouTube video is a continuation of the previous YouTube video in this series. Kathleen affirms that if Devra Patton West was not there, the Anandras, the Jack Wests, the Cheryl O'Briens, the Esther Michaels will all disappear and the cult would end. The cult being a factory that sucks in people, normal people, and some wealthy people, and uses and abuses them. At some point, Miss West will take their money, if not, take their labor. Kathleen affirms that she's asked to do stuff in her own time for Miss West and using her own gas at her own expense. And this is what it's all about. It's just a big meat grinder that takes in good, honest, hard-working people and squeezes as much life force money out of them as possible before spitting them out.
And is it your feeling that if she was taken out of the picture, then the whole thing would fall apart, and these other people, the Anandras, the Jacks, the Cheryl O'Briens, would just disappear and do something else, and she's keeping it all together because it's a factory which relies on new intakes to get people's energy, their employment, their labour.
Yes.
Sometimes without paying them, certainly without treating them properly. And she literally sucks their energy out of them and uses it as well.
Exactly.
And their finances, if she could get it. Well, would you say that was a fair analysis of what is going on?
Oh yes, it reached the point of my employment where I was being asked to do things on my own time.
Own gas.
My own gas, my own days off. I could easily work 7 days a week and get paid for 5.
Sure.
And that's 8 hours a day. I was also never given lunches. We were told to never take a lunch and never take a break. Oh yeah.
Joseph Costantino asks Kathleen about the level of Devra Patton West's integrity, and Kathleen says, well, she has none. The cult, basically, is Devra's playroom. She goes on to say that it all revolves around her wardrobe.
How would you characterize the level of integrity, particularly Devra's integrity, in the running of the place?
Yeah, there is no integrity. It's Devra's playground. It's Devra's closet, basically. And I got to tell you right there, that is what this place runs around, is Devra's closet. And I'm not kidding you. That closet is an emphatic tool for her. Oh my God. Yeah, the clothes have to be hung a certain way. If they're not, she freaks out. I mean, it's all based around the belongings in the closet.
I know stuff.
I've all heard it before. I've seen them thrown across the
horrible.
bed.
Yeah, and piles of clothing before.
Yeah.
So you brought that up too.
I've seen
Like it.
Kelly brought that up.
Kathleen talks about the fact that Anandra George, one of the senior members of the cult in 2003, carrying $16,000 in cash back from Europe to the USA. Some of the people around the table, while Kathleen is giving her statement, speculate that Devra Patton West could empty the charity's bank account and give large amounts of cash to Anandra, Esther Michaels and others to carry out of the country.
Has carried, up to $16,000 backpacking through Europe before she brought the money here.
Correct.
And that came right out of Devra's mouth.
Yeah, I heard that when I was there. That was...
So then she lets her,
Well, they're probably going to move any money too that they have hidden here out of here.
Right.
That's probably why they've got so many people moving. That's what I would guess. They'll have Esther probably carry some, Anandra will carry some, because you can only carry so much cash out of this country.
Yeah.
I think it's up to $9,000. I'm not quite sure. But I remember this in commercial production when we would travel overseas and
Sure.
stuff. There's only so much money you can move.
Sure.
Kathleen talks about the shredder and how Esther Michaels, Cheryl O'Brien, at Deborah West's instruction were shredding as many documents as possible and keeping the illusion going, the fundraising illusion going, that everything is working perfectly and that they are moving up to Shambhala and that they're still fundraising for the Shambhala ashram. Of course, what wasn't known at the time was that the Secretary of State for Montana would strike off the charity in November 2003, shortly after these recordings were made, because they received evidence that Devra West was defrauding the charity. And in 2004, the IRS criminal investigator John Nielsen did start interviewing people about Devra Patton West's financial affairs, but by then she'd shredded most of the documents and basically everybody was afraid to give evidence against her, so nothing apparently came of that, nothing that we know about anyway. But she's gone on since then to run the same fraud scam in Lakeside, Montana, involving millions and millions of dollars, and the fraudulent application for $30 million in government grants. Along the way, Miss West collected 2 arrest warrants, was convicted for assault while extorting $1.3 million off of one of her students, Pat Cole, MD, and was forced to be the subject of a sheriff's sale to make her pay $2 million in court judgments and interest to her creditors. Then she moved to Arizona, and now she's on a third name, a third identity within a decade, running exactly the same fraud scam with the people that ran it with her in Montana. Chief amongst them, Jeffrey Reynolds, CPA, who money laundered $470,000 of the cash Devra West extorted from Pat Cole, who joined with Devra West in a murder plot to get rid of the whistleblower John Watson because he made all of this criminality public. And then there's Julio Williams and, of course, long-term accomplice and ex-husband by then, Jack West. And the fraud scam continues to this day, just under another name and at a different location.
Yep.
And you said something about shredding documents and files.
Yeah, they've recently purchased the shredder, and
They're going
Esther
through,
and-
they're
yeah.
preparing to leave. That's it. Makes sense. That's why they're trying to get all this money too for Shambhala, and they keep keep this
The
whole thing-
illusion
the
that
illusion
it's going.
going.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
yeah, and my thought was when they fired me the way they did was, I was the strongest and the loudest, and it would be easier to get rid of me quickly and painlessly.
Yeah,
say.
and Deborah dictated a letter, even part of it to me. How stupid is that? About Kathleen, that Cheryl was to type up that Kathleen was being let go because they're going to do some remodeling on the lodge, and Deborah's going to move up to Flathead Lake, so there would be no reason to have Kathleen here. And that was her story, and she was sticking to it.
Why was she sending this letter, though?
That was to protect herself why she fired you.
Oh.
Oh, so it's one of these letters that she does regularly, which are inserted into reality to puff up her folder, to make it look as though she's behaved reasonably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's her cover
That's not
story.
going to work.
So
And it's BS because they aren't remodeling the lodge.
no, they never do.
Please be sure to like my video and please help me make it go viral. People's lives may depend upon it. Thank you.